These conversations cause stress. They cause stress on two levels. If a person is a member of a marginalized group, then the reminder that, by the way, you belong to a marginalized group is stressful. And for people who carry privilege and supremacy, the invitation to even remotely think about thinking about supremacy is very threatening. And so in both cases, threat is kicked up. There's a sense of something that I have could be lost, or I might be at risk, or I'm reminded of a danger that I'm always under. So there's no way to avoid that. The thing that I think is helpful is to create contracts in spaces with individuals or groups where the idea of safety and comfort gets separated out. For members of marginalized communities to talk about or to participate in conversation about oppression is in fact historically and socially dangerous. There can be a threat to life and body that accompanies those experiences, and in terms of historical trauma, members of marginalized communities know in body that bringing these things up or participating in these conversations could lead to severe penalties, physical, including loss of life. For members of privileged communities, there is a conflation. It's actually part of what happens with privilege is that using the word safety to mean discomfort is a way to try to interrupt or stop the conversation altogether. So when people say this isn't safe, and they're using the voice of privilege and supremacy, what they're really saying is, I don't feel comfortable. And I am so used to comfort and the experience of being at ease that feeling uncomfortable, even not under threat of physical harm, is so threatening that it makes my brain go offline. And I'm going to go into fight or flight or even freeze from being uncomfortable. And so there's this problem with trying to have mixed conversations where members of dominant or supremacist groups and or people who carry privilege and members of marginalized groups are invited to come to the table together to have dialogue. It isn't really dialogue because the conditions are very different for each of those groups, and the danger for members of marginalized groups is real, and the danger for members of privileged groups is more perceptual. So what we can do is name all of that, or at least name it inside our own head, and begin to articulate with people when they say, I don't feel safe, to say what is the danger you're experiencing? Are you experiencing a threat, physical threat? Are you experiencing a sense that you might be physically attacked or socially attacked? Do you have, and people might begin to say, yeah, more like a social threat. Or are you worried about emotional danger that you might feel threatened? And for members of marginalized groups, clarifying that can settle their nervous system as well.